Okay everybody, this is mooneydashcam. Tonight we are in Glen, Cove, Long Island, Nassau County. We're going to be talking about the funeral that ended up having a clash between 3 Bonanno gangsters and bikers. Little spoiler alert, it did not end well for the Bonannos. We're going to be going to the funeral home right now, so let's flip this around and get into it. Like I said, we're heading to the funeral home now. It is at 26 Franklin Avenue in Glen Cove. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at mooneydashcam. I post on there every single day. Also, don't forget to leave suggestions for future videos in the comments. I very much appreciate those. And hit the notification bell so you guys see right away when I post a new video. Okay, let's get into this. We got to get into a little bit of backstory first. Like I said, we're talking about the Bonanno crime family. Mikey the Nose Mancuso is arrested February 16th, 2006 for ordering the murder of an associate, Randolph Pozzolo. He gets sentenced to 15 years for that. Now we're in Glen Cove. Glen Cove is a nice area. You can probably tell already. Now, some parts are nicer than others, like any other town, but it's a pretty nice spot. While he's in prison, Mikey Nose was picked as the official boss of the Bonanno crime family. This is in June of 2013. Still having 5 years left to his sentence, he appoints Joe C Cammerano as acting street boss and official underboss. The underboss title came in 2015. While Mikey Nose is in prison, Joe C, who's known as a super respectful guy, his father was in the mafia and one of the leaders in the Bonanno crime family, gets all the captains together to discuss if they want Mikey Nose as their boss. And I think a little group of them kind of decided that Joe C would become the new boss, and that the consigliere at the time, who is John Porky Zancuccio, would be John C's consigliere. But it wasn't really taken seriously. The word got back to Mikey Nose, of course, because there's always someone that's going to kick back the news to the current boss. So in 2019, when he gets out of prison, he shelves not only Joe C, but the consigliere, John Porky Zancuccio, Joe C's father-in-law, and Captain Vito Grimaldi, and Vito Grimaldi's son, Joseph Grimaldi, who was also a captain. I heard in some articles that he was an acting captain. Either way, at the very least, a made member of the Bonanno crime family. Now, I mentioned this in a recent video, the video about John Gotti Jr. getting stabbed, but I know shelving sounds pretty dumb. It's like, you're not a gangster anymore. You can't be involved. You can't make any money from rackets anymore. It's really today's version of having that person killed. It's because today it's a lot harder to have someone killed and get away with it. Just know that when someone is shelved, that's pretty much the mafia saying, we would have killed you back in the day. So it's very serious. Now, people do get taken off the shelf, which is another kind of weird thing, but that's generally how it goes. It's like if you're shelved, back in the day they would have killed you. Now, when Vito Grimaldi dies, who's Joe C's father-in-law, 64-year-old Mikey Nose gets a message sent about a week before the funeral to 62-year-old Joe C to not show up to the funeral. I don't know how the message gets sent to him, but it gets sent to him somehow. Joe C responds saying he's not going to listen. He's going to go to his father-in-law's funeral. What's he supposed to do? His whole family goes to the funeral and he doesn't? This brings into question if Mikey Nose even has the authority to tell Joe C that he can't go to Vito Grimaldi's funeral, because they're both technically shelved. They're not members of the mafia anymore. So does Mikey Nose have any say in what goes on in the situation. And also, it's a family matter. It goes above the mafia. So this is his wife's father at this point. How are you going to tell him he can't go to his wife's father's funeral? Of course, Joe C was looking at it like most people would look at it and was like, screw this, I'm going anyway. Alright, we're going to be at this funeral home very shortly. I'll speed this up till we're at the front of the funeral home. Okay, right around this corner is the funeral home. Now you have to remember, July 16th was the day of his funeral, not too long ago. I'm filming this right now. The day is August 5th. So right here, a bunch of gangsters all came together for this funeral. I'm gonna park back here a little bit, so I'm not right in front. Yeah, right on this block is where this all went down, like not even a month ago. All right, here we are. I feel like the FBI, because you know the FBI always takes pictures outside of these gangsters' funerals, and this is how I look right now. Also, so here's the place. Now Joe C of course shows up to the funeral because he has no reason why he wouldn't. Dodge Thomas Funeral Directors. But he doesn't show up alone. He shows up with his buddies that are bikers. His brother Dino is a part of a motorcycle group. They're not like a 1%er group or anything, but, you know, big, rough and tough bikers. And Joe C is also a motorcycle enthusiast. So he just knows these guys from around, always in and out of Harley shops, hanging around places like that. Now, Mikey knows has men there to look out for Joe C, to make it known that Bonanno's there. Now, who knows what the exact orders were? But the three men are 41-year-old Ernie Aiello, who's a captain, 40-year-old John Spirito Jr., who's a soldier, and then 65-year-old Johnny Mulberry, who's a captain. By the way, look up Johnny Mulberry's last name and see if I could have any idea of how to pronounce that. All right, let's cross over here. Like I said, who knows what the orders were, but whatever ended up happening was not the expected outcome. Oh, by the way, say hi to the truck. Look at that old over there, it's trying to hide. As Joe C is at the casket paying respects to his father-in-law in front of his wife, his kids. This is his wife's father, like I mentioned before. He's attacked by the three Bonannos. Now, I heard that the bikers were outside the funeral home and heard there was something going on. They jumped in on this, and they gave an ass-kicking to the three Bonannos. Now, these bikers now just beat up three made men, three made Bonanno members. How does this play out? What happens next? Like I said, it happened in front of family and friends at a funeral. Normally, nothing happens at a funeral. Normally, nothing happens in front of the family. This kind of stuff is a big no-no in the mafia. This happened right inside here. It's kind of nuts. Sometimes I don't think that I'm at the places that these things happened, but when it's so recent, you can almost feel it in the air. Now, the big question is, how does Mikey Nose respond to this? You really don't know. Nice old Honda. You really don't know because he can't do much. He was recently arrested in March for associating with organized crime again, because after his arrest, he can't be around anybody probably that's felons or in organized crime. He can't respond violently because he's now on the police radar, because the police know about the story. If I know about the story, the police know about it, the FBI knows about it. So they're expecting some sort of retaliation. But if he doesn't respond in any type of way, now it doesn't have to be violent, if he doesn't respond, he loses the respect of pretty much the whole mob and the respect of the public. The public knows very much about what happened here. So it's a big question up in the air of how this is going to get handled. And I'm sure everyone's going to make a video on how it's going to get handled. If it's an interesting enough way, I'm sure I'll make a video about it too. By the way, I didn't get enough love in the last video. I washed the truck. You guys yell at me when the truck is dirty and then don't congratulate me when it's clean. It's terrible, terrible. I'm back in the truck to finish this off. So like I was saying, me and pretty much everyone else who's interested in this kind of stuff or follows this kind of stuff is curious to see how this all plays out. We don't know until it happens, of course. It might take a long time for anything to happen, if anything happens at all. There's a lot of other videos that might come out of this, including of whatever comes of this. But also, in August 1984, I found this like ridiculous. I might do a whole video on it. Mikey Knows shot his wife 2 times in the head. Now this is not funny, but just something about this whole situation is weird to me. Shot his wife 2 times in the head, left her on the bench outside of Jacobi Hospital in the Bronx. She died, and he got sentenced to 10 years for manslaughter. How do you get sentenced to 10 years for... Well, it's 1984. Maybe there wasn't a lot of proof. But, I mean, this guy's a nut job. A certified nut job. Okay, enough of that. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one.